Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Pavan.
And I'm Adam.
And today we're watching part 2 of A Silent Voice. Last week, I was really fired up.
That's pretty par for the course.
Nishimiya, the poor girl.
Yeah.
Like, good on her for eventually leaving. I hate, those kids were so cruel.
Yeah, but it's the same thing everywhere. Because she came in the middle of class, which means she left somewhere else, and then she had to leave again. Like, it's just heartbreaking.
And then we got Shoya feeling bad for himself because his classmates called him out. He becomes kind of withdrawn and isolated in high school.
Do you think he felt bad because there were consequences to his actions, meaning his friends kind of turned on him? Or do you think he actually feels bad for the pain that he caused?
I think he started feeling bad because his friends pulled away from him. And then as a result of being lonely, that is probably what led him to reflect, because he probably could empathize with Nishimiya at that point.
Fair enough.
Kind of presumptuous of him to seek her out and ask to be friends before even apologizing. Not sure what he was trying to get at by giving her the notebook, bringing up a lot of bad memories in my opinion.
Yeah, but I feel like the gesture was intended to be kind. Probably went about it the wrong way. Probably didn't think about how his actions would make her feel in the moment. But I think
of course he didn't.
No, but I think the gesture was intended to be good. That's my read.
Nishimiya is a much better person than I am, I'll just say that. So basically he finally got to talk to her after their initial meeting. They were kind of having an exchange. Their two friends were spying, and they just recovered the notebook from the river. So here we go. Let's get started. See if we can handle this. I will try to control myself a little better than last week. Part 2.
No promises.
Part 2 of A Silent Voice is coming right now. Oh, that's the best sign.
You're not wrong.
Does he have a crush on her?
Yes.
Oh. What? That little boy made a profile of him? Oh my gosh.
No, I think he just posted about him.
ねえねえこれ石田君だよねこの人
え何こ
れ石田君ちょっと職員室に来なさい
今回私は飛び込み禁止とされている水門橋から川へ飛び込みその写真をインターネットで公開しましたあ
ちょっと悪いんだけどさマリアお迎えに行ってくれない？
いや俺自宅謹慎中なんですけど
だからいいよよろしくね
ちょおい
Sorry, what?
I'm assuming. Yeah.
Maria! そろそろ帰るぞ。
翔太、なんかいる。
おいおい、大丈夫か？
Did his friend beat him up?
お前西宮の彼氏だろ。
But maybe he
風
doesn't
邪ひくぞ。
have a place to live.
It's a nice
休みじゃ
camera.
ないか。
何してんのこんなとこで。靴は
Definitely
わからない
bullied.
の。
What?
何？
He's definitely been bullied.
ネットにお前の画像を上げたの俺なんだけど。
あれお前？そっか、よかったわ、お前で。
何それ。
理由はなんとなくわかるし。
怒るよ。
Yep.
いや無理だよ、元は俺が悪いんだし。
翔太、お腹すいた。
はーい、じゃあ俺帰るわ。お前も早く帰れよ。
お前子供いんのか。
兄貴のだよ。おい、
He's bringing
ゆずる
home.
くん、たくさん食べなさい。
Oh.
ねえ兄貴は？
今日遅いんだって。マリア、熱くない？おいしい。
ゆずるくん食べないの？
ゆずるくん、どうぞ。
Oh, little
She's
kids
super
are the
cute.
best. Like little kids. Where did he post that? At the school?
Just on social media, I think.
No, but like the computer he used.
I don't know. I think it was at the school, yeah.
そう。
Now he feels guilty.
「何してんの？急にいないからビビった。ほら傘。ちょっといいから持てよ。てか持って。サンキュー。そうだお前。よっぱり。これ履く？俺が履いてたやつだけどもう履かないし。やるよ。お前さ、なんで家出したの？
喧嘩した翔子と。
あ、へえ、やっぱあれ付き合ってるとお互いいろいろあるといいな。
翔子のシャンプー勝手に使ったからお前なんていらないって言われた。
君ら同棲してんの？
Is that her little brother?
I'm not sure.
傘自分に刺せよ。一本しかねえんでしょ。
いや、本数間違えたの俺のミスだし、あとお前に風邪ひかれたら西宮に悪いし。
あのさ、なんなのお前。犠牲者なの。
え？
野良猫拾って気持ちよがってんの。面白がってたんでしょ。耳が聞こえないからって面白がってたでしょ。ねえ。で、今さら死は覚えたって。何それ。なんかまともな人間にでもなったつもり。気持ち悪いんだよお前。
You know what solves this whole problem?
そりゃ
Don't be a
聞いてるよ
jerk to begin
西宮
with.
から。うん、そう。俺最低な人間だから。
Jeez.
本当は生きてちゃまずいやつだから。
Whoa.
せめてもう西宮を泣かせたくないって思っただけで。君たちの間を邪魔するつもりはないから。それはないから。でも これは俺自身のこ
At
と
least
で
he
もあ
can
る。
admit it.
ここで。
もう
あ、そうだ。信じ込んじゃってるとこは大変申し訳ないんだけど。俺、翔子の。だから。
妹さん。
じゃ。
Okay, it is a girl.
Feel better about that.
西宮さんのお母さん。
行くわよ。
ちょ、いてんですけど。
I mean, he kind of deserves
The
it.
mom for sure ripped the other mom's earring out.
Maybe.
ただいま。あ、姉ちゃん。俺の方こそごめん。ああね、シソジュース飲みたい。ばあちゃんの。
ゆずる、あんなこと付き合っちゃダメよ。翔子にも言っといて。
Why don't you tell Shoko that? Can't you speak sign
お
language?
姉ちゃんも。
おお少年元気してるか。
I'm glad we were right.
Mm-hmm.
That. Yeah, it would have been strange if they were dating. If what they thought was a boy was in like middle school and Shoko was in high school. At that age,
That's too much.
that's a lot.
But I want to go back to something you said, like, kind of making it sound like you can't change. I am in no way, shape, or form condoning his behavior.
I'm not saying you can't change, but like he even said, his atonement or whatever is for his own benefit too.
But can't it be for both? And is there anything wrong with that? Like, you made someone feel like crap. Maybe you can never make up for that, but maybe going and apologizing and saying, hey, I was this, it makes you feel better for sure. But I don't know.
But like the lasting impact that traumatic experience probably has on her.
100%.
And for me, it's just like, you think a little apology can just erase that? And so that's why it's just like, I understand, okay, you're young, you're immature, peer pressure, trying to look cool, like any number of things. And it might not be cool to be the person who goes against the group. But like, you know what's right and wrong. And so make the right choice, even if it's hard.
Yeah. No.
And I know, like Constable Sarah, you know, Sarah the safety elephant. Yeah, I get it. But like, easier said than done, maybe, but...
Wait, okay, fair. But it happens, right? So what's better, to ignore it, and if you have a chance to like face it and address it, and not deal with it, but like maybe make amends.
But even for him, his solution was, oh, I should kill myself. Oh, poor you. You know what I mean? It's like, you've morphed this whole issue to be about you and how terrible you feel. And maybe that's heartless. Maybe I'm tunnel vision here.
I don't.
Let's hear it. I'm sure I will. But
I don't think you're. Like, he didn't get to that point right afterwards. There were 5 years in between of being isolated and lonely.
fair.
I just think that, you know, when you do something wrong, owning up to it and facing it, like going to her and saying that, it probably does make you feel better, but it's not easy. to go back and say, I'm sorry, like, I was a huge jerk. And I would use stronger language than that, but I can't. And I understand that there is a part of it that is selfishly motivated because you want to feel better, but I don't think it's that straightforward.
おい、今日はまたどうしてよ。
借りた傘返しに来たんだ。
お、少年、なかなかちゃんとしてるじゃないか。
長塚君、その子少年じゃないよ。
え？
西宮の妹。
まあ、知ってましたけど。いつも俺の野鳥がお世話になってます。
友達の長塚。
They should sign all anime characters and I might be able to pronounce them
携帯
afterwards.
買ってもらったんだ。
Syllable by syllable.
西宮も携帯持ってるよな。ね、メールとかやってんの？友達と？
Email.
今の学校の。へえ、いいね。他にメールしたい相手いる？メアド知りたいやつ。あ、そう、教えようか。俺、何？さは
The girl, yeah. I wondered what happened to her.
サハラさんって小学校の。
やしょやしょ。で、サハラさんとやらに会いに行くのかい？
もうやだ、そんなことないよ。
でも河合さんってしっかりしてると思うけど。
河合さん。
やしょ？
でも真柴君って
河合さん。
何？
あ、聞きたいことが。小学校の時一緒だったサハラさんの連絡先知ってたりする？
サハラさん？ごめん、知らない。あ、でも学校ならわかるよ。なおちゃん
Because she
も同
moved
じだか
away
ら。
before
Yeah.
Shoko, right?
女子学園。あ、金やば。
石田君、これを使いたまえよ。
あ、何これ？そんなにいらないよ。
気にすんなやしょ。交通費、お食事代、ラブホ代と考えたらこれくらいあった方が安心だろう。
I wasn't sure whether he was going to get jealous or not.
姉ちゃんが自分のことなのに放置されてクソムカつくって。悪いけど連れて行ってやってくれ、石田。
The one person who showed her kindness.
Yeah. This is awkward. Her mom's not gonna be happy.
It's probably her. Oh my gosh, she's adorable.
久しぶりだよね。あれから勉強してた
Oh,
の
I have goosebumps.
合ってるのかな。途中でいなくなってごめんね。
Where did you
ずっ
go?
と
Like,
気になって
why?
たんだ、翔ちゃんのこと。会えて嬉しい、びっくりした。うんうん。本当？
Oh,
うんうん。翔ちゃんはどんな高校行ってるの？
そういえば胸元大きくなったよね。何カップだろう。確かめてやる。
Wow. It's like, that's my cute
どうした
leaf.
の？
いやちょっとトイレ行ってくるわ。
わかった。
割引券です。どうぞ。
割引券です。
Oh, very interesting. That's the other girl.
Mm-hmm.
上野
割引券です。どうぞ。よろしくお願いします。
Why is she dressed like a cat?
I'm not sure.
ニャンニャンク
The
ラブ。
Yamada Club, that's why.
Oh, dang. Did they go to karaoke?
俺には無理だわ。あ、このノリで上野も西宮と。
No!
普通に無理なんですけど。
Dude,
そう
no!
思うわ。
Especially not at the Meow Meow Club.
よし入ろうか長塚君。
いざ。
Or maybe it's a cat cafe. I was definitely going somewhere else with that.
お時間どうなされますか？
1時間で
Just kidding.
割引券使います。
はい、ありがとうございます。
やば、本当に来た。
なんと
She recognized him when she gave the coupon.
100%.
君は何を期待していたんだい？
君こそ何を。
バカを言ってくれるなよ。純粋な気持ちで君の友達に会いに来ただけさ。そう、君の友達いるのかい？
正確には友達じゃないけど、
とは？
小6の時いろいろあって実は結構気ま
So
ず
did she get nailed for bullying too?
いないっぽい。帰ろうか。
What exactly is this like?
Okay, I must admit, when I saw Meow Meow Club,
I know what she thought. But was
there's
there like,
cat cafes.
but there was nobody but cats. Like, do people bring their own cats, or there's cats there? Like, is it a cat daycare?
The ones that I heard about, I've never frequented one, is like you go and you have coffee and you can like cuddle the cats while you.
Somebody else's cats.
The cafe's cats.
Okay.
There are cats there and you can like sit with them and cuddle them and pet them and stuff. While
Do they
you have
selectively
coffee.
choose the cuddly ones? Because like that seems like 1 out of every 10 cats that I've met is nice,
cuddly.
and the other 9 are jerks.
I don't know what the recruiting process is for a cat cafe.
This is a legitimate concern. I
I'm
have.
just glad that it was that, because I was like, oh dang, the girl fell hard.
I'm wondering if she had a similar experience.
Of like seeing the light.
Well, no, of like being isolated, because she like out of the girls, she was the
She
bully.
was the meanest.
So,
And now she's embarrassed to see him.
yeah.
I mean, I'm embarrassed to see pretty much everybody I went to high school with.
But is she embarrassed that she's working at a cat cafe? Like,
Oh, maybe.
what are the dynamics of this? Like, is that a good place to work? Is that not a good place to work? Like, I feel like there's some context that we're missing.
I probably avoid all the people I went to high school with for a completely different reason, as in probably similar to you. I just didn't fit in anywhere.
100%.
Yeah.
Shared experience.
All right. He's tricking her. I'm just kidding.
虫
Oh, it's for the grandma.
おう来てたのか。
マリアと遊びに来た。
Oh.
Well, they're friends now.
これ西宮使ったりするかな。
猫
へえ。姉ちゃん入るぞ。
姉ちゃん、お土産置いとくね。
Wait, what happened?
I mean, I think she went to the ear doctor and got bad news.
I thought the ear doctor was testing the Grimm's hearing.
I don't know. But I based on that scene, I don't think so. Like
Did she know that her hearing aid was out? And she was just testing her hearing?
I would imagine that there's hope, like you always maybe hope that it comes back, or that there's, yeah, I don't know. Well, she's still a little bossy.
Nishimiya じゃない相変わらずぼっちなの。かわいそう。
Get off the bike.
てか石田、マジで久しぶりじゃね？今度遊ぼうよ。石田、私のこと嫌いっしょ。私さ、ずっと石田に声かければよかったって思ってたんだよね。ごめんね、小学校の時。
上野降りて。
うちの店のポーチじゃん。なんで持ってんの？これ。
俺があげた。じゃあな。
Where did she come from?
上野。
西宮さん、久しぶり。元気だった？
おい。
何？1個しかないの？
上野、何やってんだよ。
は？投げて遊ぶの。昔みたいに。
Okay, that.
Are you
ごめん、西宮。
stupid?
嘘、冗談でしょ石田。ちょっと待って、あんたたちもしかして付き合ってんの？
そんなわけないだろ。友達だよ。
友達？何それウケる。いじめてたやつと
Oh
友
my
達。
gosh, this girl is
なん
pathetic.
で無理無理、やばい。あ、もし
You're
か
the
して
only
罪
one
悪感
laughing.
的な？
違うよ。
石田、ダサくなったわ。ま、せいぜい友達ごっこやってろ。
I was kind of hoping that she was gonna be different.
何を話してたかって何でもないよ。じゃあそろそろ帰るわ。また。
If I start going off about this girl, I'm not gonna stop, so you take it.
I mean, again, I didn't know if there was significance of her working at the cat cafe, like she had fallen in the social circles, but apparently not, and she's still a jerk, and she has not matured at all. And you would, so how do you, Mike, I guess what I think is, how do you feel about, like, should you be mature in high school? Should you have learned your lessons? I guess you at least know right and wrong at that point. Doesn't mean you're taking the right actions, but I feel like that's less excusable than when you're in whatever 6th grade.
You would think that you would have grown up a little bit, understood that people are different. Yeah,
But-
she's gross.
Yeah, but why did she want to hang out all of a sudden? Why? They clearly go to different high schools.
Well, because she probably thought that he didn't develop at all either, and that they were the same. They had the same attitudes still.
He was still a little flaky about standing up for her.
Yes.
He's still a little wishy-washy.
It takes some serious confidence and self-assuredness to, you know, to stand up for what you believe in all the time.
True. I'm trying to think back to like high school Adam. I know I had blonde hair, but that's interesting. It's curious to think about what you would do and how you would act in that situation. Not like
no, there's nothing for me to think about.
No, I get, yeah. I don't think everyone always has your level of self-confidence. I know it took me a while. I really wanted to fit in high school, and I didn't. I was pretty insecure.
I didn't fit in, and I didn't really care, to be honest.
Yeah.
I did not fit in with any group, and I was okay with that.
Yeah. I can relate a little bit to the, not that I was mean to anybody, but like the second guessing, like wanting to fit in. Do you say something? Do you not say something? Do you just stay quiet? I can relate to that. Do you think she likes him?
Not yet.
今日ポニーテールじゃん。なんで
Was she trying to hide her hearing aids for her?
知らに見せてやろう。
What, I missed it. What did it say?
Huge number of fish, you better come.
That's a good step for her confidence. I like that for her.
石田君、どこへ行くの？
どこ行くかって？パン屋。ゆずるに頼まれて恋の餌。
持ってあげる。指が見たかっただけ。
石田君、西宮。
買いにかなってみに。
手話。
話題終え。うん。ごめん。
全然大丈夫。俺行かなきゃ。パン。じゃあまた。西宮。
She wants to ride on the back.
Forgot on something.
くれるの？ありがとう。見ていい？なんだろうこれ。ありがとう。え？何？これ？
Oh, she does like him. I was like, oh, I thought she was going to take more time to warm up.
Ski? うん。綺麗だね。
She wants to communicate with you. Oh.
Nishimiya.
She wanted to try without signing.
ねえ長塚君、これって月に見える？
月には見えない。
飴じゃないみたいなんだよな。さっき西宮がくれたんだけど、マジで何なんだろう。
なんかあったのか。
マジで？
That has to be so
I'm so
frustrating.
proud of her, really.
But like the
I'm getting
whole
teary-eyed thinking about it.
like that's hard when you can understand each other. Like to put yourself out there.
Especially at that age.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like when everything is wild, and then for her to want to be able to communicate with him in his way, and to not be like, you must feel like silly and then kind of rejected and embarrassed. I can't imagine the emotion in that situation. That
I'm very proud of her for trying.
yeah.
And I hope that she like keeps trying.
But he legitimately has no idea.
He wasn't trying to be mean.
No. And I mean, I feel like guys don't pick up on those things the best of times.
I got real teary-eyed thinking about it. Probably took her so much to get up the confidence to do that.
100%.
ああ、髪型変えたんだ。
なんで変えたの？何かあったの？すごく似合ってる。ちょっとやめてよみんな。朝時間がなかっただけだよ。
Yeah.
Wear your
で
glasses,
もそれいい感じ
kawaii.
だよ。
河合さん、髪型なんで変えたの？
なんで？特別な理由なんてないんだけどな。女の子ってそういうもんなんだよ。
そっか。何？
この間足場くんがね、石田くんと友達になりたいって言ってたよ。
Oh boy.
なぜあなたがここにいるのです？
はじめまして、私サハラです。
どうも、マシバです。
おいやめろ、人の頭の上だぞ。
みおちゃん、久しぶりだね。
なあ、今日西宮は？
お腹痛いって帰った。
俺避けられてんのかな。
なんで？
この間西宮が一生懸命言ってることをうまく聞き取れなくてさ。
お姉ちゃんなんて言ったんだ？
好き。とても簡単な言葉なのに理解してあげられなかった。
そりゃムカついただろうな。まあ避けられてるかどうか気になるなら遊びにでも誘ってみれば？嫌なら断るだろうし。
そっか。
Her sister is the best wingman.
Yes, she's really something.
Go.
Yuzuru is like probably my favorite character so far.
Yeah.
みんな、まずあれに並ぶよ。はぐれないようについてきてね。
なんであの女子仕切ってんの？
さあ。
石田。あいつ何？なんかやけになれなれしいんだけど。
上野、なんで？
翔子の知り合いだっけ？
ああ、小学生の時の。
Who invited her?
She's gonna ruin everything.
ここいい？
どうぞ。
Oh no.
では準備はよろしいですか？イエーイ！それではスタートです。
相良
Wooden
さん、
roller coasters are
上野
awful
と
because I
大
don't
丈
fit
夫だ
them.
ったっけ？
They're really rickety.
同じ学校で同じデザイン科なんだよ。ナオちゃんのセンス 勉強になるんだ。
Who?
小学生の頃はさ、
No.
Who is
怖
that?
くて乗れなかったんだ。弱虫だったからね。でも少し見方変えてみた。怖いかどうかは乗ってから決めることにしたの。 やっぱまだ怖いけどね。来るよ。
No, I can never let these go with my hand.
You like roller coasters.
ああ大変
But
だ。
I always hold on.
翔ちゃん足カクカクだよ。
大丈夫？
すごいな。手話できるんだ。
手話頑張ったんだね、石田くん。
おい、この手は君のか。俺の野草に失礼なやつだな。
普通に仲良くしたいんだけど。
ダメだ、甘ったれるな。
I'm his best friend.
野草に近づくには俺の許可がいるから。
長塚くんの頭、それ本物？
やめろ。
あれ？
マシバくん逃げて。
行け、野草抜け。
あれ？いいのか？俺がこんなに楽しんで。でもこれってなんかあれっぽい。ほら、なんていうか友達っぽい。
石田、私たこ焼き食べたい。一緒に買いに行こう。
おい、ちょっと。たこ焼きお待たせしました。
Those
No.
look good.
上野さ、こういうおせっかいいらないから。
She set them up. It's his friend from elementary school.
Yeah.
ちょっと石田。ごめん、またメールする。
Ooh, they're blocked again.
石田、怒ってる？
怒ってない。怒ってはない。
I'm just.
私、二人がまた昔みたいに仲良くなれたらって思っただけ。会えばなんとかなるかなみたいな。
勝手なことすんなよ。あれ？俺も同じことした。
Oh, by reintroducing Shoko to everybody.
石田と私って似てるよね。
似てない。
似てるよ。
似てない。
R2. Just kidding.
西宮さんがいなければみんなハッピーだったよね。
That's
Happy and jerks.
だってそうでしょ。
Maybe.
あの人がいなかったら私とサハラが気まずくなることもなかったし、石田と島田の仲が壊れることもなかった。私、西宮さんが来る前に戻りたいんだけど。
島田と俺が勝手にそうしただけだ。
石田、私のこと嫌い？
多分。
あ、私観覧車乗りたいかも。
は？
西宮さんと乗ろうっと。
おい、
西宮さん、私と観覧車乗ろう。
おい、上野。
お姉ちゃん、これ持ってってよ。俺もう一回ジェットコースター乗るからさ。
I don't feel good about this.
I don't think she's changed at all.
Wait, Sahara invited her? Or I missed that.
I think she said her and Sahara would still be friends.
No, but how did she get
ゆ
in
ずるちゃんいらっし
to the group?
ゃい。
I don't know.
翔也なら上にいるわよ。
おう、
極秘映像を入手した。
観覧車の映像？
そう、
She left the camera recording.
盗撮。
え？
と思う。
ああ、うん。西宮には西宮のこと好きになってもらいたいよ。
Whoa, what is your take on that?
I don't know. I'm trying to. I don't think it's. I don't think that's a fair statement.
What? What part?
You didn't try and get to know me. Like I think
No,
about.
not get to know her, understand her.
So this is not the same thing, but like when we've moved and lived overseas, like I can't communicate with people because I can't speak any languages, and to try and have to communicate, like I understand the instinct for Nishi to just want to say.
Nishimiya.
You couldn't just let me have it.
Nishi.
For Nishi.
Yeah.
To just say, like, I'm sorry and try and, like, work things over because you can't actually communicate how you feel. I think it's really hard to understand when you just lack the ability to do that. And to blame her that they lost their friends and people came between them, like, that's not fair at all. You're responsible for your own actions, for your own friendships, for your own relationships.
Yeah, the way she's trying to find excuses to justify how she acted, and in her own delusional mind, I think it makes sense. I mean.
Yeah. And I think it's easier to go, well, I hate you, but you hate me too.
No, and she, like, the way that she's framing it is like she was justified in doing the things she did and enacting how she did and refusing to make any kind of concessions to understand Nishimiya. I don't think it's right.
Yeah, me either.
I think, but that's her way of twisting things around and reframing it to absolve her of any responsibility or guilt that she might have.
Well, it's interesting also that now they're trying to reunite their friend group. Like, because I get the feeling that they all drifted apart and none of them were friends. And now that they're hanging out again and they've run into a few other people, it's like bringing the group back together.
Well, my interpretation or my understanding is that Shoya wanted to reconcile with Nishimiya, so they became a pair.
Yeah.
And then he also had his new friend.
Yeah.
And then Kawaii likes the redhead boy. And that's why she changed her look, because she wanted him to pay attention to her. But he was intrigued by Shoya and wanted to be friends with him. So that's how those two kind of got dragged in. And then Nishimiya wanted to reunite with Sahara.
Yeah.
And so, like, it makes sense. The only one to me that I'm like, where did you come from is Ueno.
Yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen. But I'm a little disappointed that Shoya didn't say anything about the clip.
I want her to like her. That's your takeaway?
上野さんだっけ？
ああ、上野。
あの人、西宮さんと何かあったの？
え、なんで？
小学生の頃いろいろあったって河合さんが。
Kawaii, you were involved too.
西宮さんってさ、本当に耳聞こえないんだね。
あ
あ、もしかしてそれが原因でいじめられてたとか。
You could say so.
許せないんだよな、僕。そういうの。ね。
おお。
私が昔のこと言いふらしてるって言ってるの？
ちょっと声が大きい。
結局石田君は何も変わってない。小学校の頃からひどいことばっかり。
河合さん、落ち着いて。
何の話？
真柴君、石田君はね、昔ある女の子をいじめてたの。
何言ってんの河合さん。そんなことあるわけ。
本当のことだもん。
You gotta own up now.
私は西宮さんの悪口なんて言ってた。
Not true.
Yeah.
西宮さん。
そう、石田君は西宮さんをいじめてたの。私はね、止めたんだよ。
Everybody's just trying to make
Also
themselves feel
not
better for their.
聞いてくれなかった。すごく怖かったの。
いやしょ大丈夫ごめんいやしょいやしょ俺も俺が嫌いだ
どうかしたの？
なんでもない本当にいた石田君カバン持ってきたよ
どうも、なおちゃん。私が呼んだの。さっきはごめんなさい。でも元を正せば石田君のせいなんだから。だけどね、石田君が西宮さんに謝ったら許してあげればって真柴君が言うから。ちょっと待ってよ、それっておかしいよね。その件で私たちに石田を責める権利ないでしょ。タチ、違うよ、なおちゃん。何が？私と違ってなおちゃんは積極的に西宮さんをいじめてた。
Bullying
一
is
緒にしちゃいけ
bullying.
ないよ、なおちゃん。ああ、うん、違う。全く違う。笑って同調してただけのあんたとはね。ひどい。どう思う、サハラ？私、なおちゃんはサハラさんの悪口もいっぱい言ってたんだよ。本当のことしか言ってねえよ。なあ、どうなの、サハラ？私はあの頃二人とも怖かったよ。は？どっちの味方なんだよ。どっちの味方でもないよ。
やめろ俺が全部悪いから
その理屈は嫌い。
上野自分勝手に何でもかんでも決めつけんなよ
That's what they're all doing.
石田君、そんな言い方。
さあらやめろどうせまた逃げて後悔すんだろ弱虫だって
どうしちゃったの、石田君。
可愛い喋るな昔からお前は自分が可愛いだけなんだよ
いやしょ俺はお前の味方だから。
俺のことをよく知りもしないくせに味方とか言ってんじゃね
もういや、私帰る。
いやしょ大丈夫、俺は気にしてないからな。
翔ちゃん、またね。ごめん、石田。私来なきゃよかったな。
石田君ひどすぎるよ
部外者のくせに口挟むなよ
友達になれたと思ってた
Holy moly.
I don't know whether he's feeling sorry for himself, and he said, like, everything he said was accurate. But that was probably not the best way to go about it. I mean, I guess it depends what your end goal is.
No, all of them are dancing around the topic, trying to justify their actions or inaction.
Yeah.
And he called them all out for it.
Yeah.
I don't think what he said was incorrect or inaccurate.
It's not. It's just such a tough dynamic. Like, depending on what you want, like, are you guys all looking for a group of friends? Is everybody trying to make it work?
I think it's just highlighting the fact that people do terrible things to one another. And for the majority of people, their instinct is to hide behind whatever excuses suit them best.
Or to remember things.
Yes, or to have selective memory.
Yeah.
And the pain that really being honest about this causes doesn't even match, but like is opposite to the pain that they inflicted.
Yeah. It's amazing how people can justify or forget situations to feel okay or to not face it.
You literally have no clue how your actions impact other people.
Yeah.
And
even when you're well intentioned, never mind when you're trying to.
Yeah. Well, he thought he had a friend group and now he seems to be alone again.
Yeah. And even his boy, who didn't do anything, he pushed away.
Yeah.
So, 来週から夏休みだ。どっか遊びに。
ユーズ、こんな暗くしてると目悪くするよ。
さ
ユーズはまだ姉ちゃんのことが心配なのかい？ばあちゃんはゆずるが心配だよ。姉ちゃんのことばっかで自分のことはちっとも知ろうとしないんだから。
ばあちゃんだって一緒じゃん。老人会も行かないで手話の勉強ばっかしてさ。
ばあちゃんは自分のためにやってることだからいいんだよ。
だったら俺も自分のためにやってることだよ。
そうかい？ゆずはいい子だよ。
そうかな。毎日お母さんに叱られてばっか。学校だってずっと行ってない。
ゆずは心がきれいだ。
She does.
翔子も頑張ってる。ばあちゃんは本当にいい孫を持ったよ。まんじゅうも食べな。
食べる。
Wait, what?
ばあちゃん。
よう西宮、元気？今日とてもいいパンが手に入ったんだ。このパンは君みたいにいいパンなんだ。だからなんだそりゃ。
Was that dream foreshadowing?
I don't know, I hope not.
今日は来ないのかな。またお腹痛いのやへんか。
Who's
お
that?
ーい
She went to school?
帰るか。
石田よ。
何その格
何って制服じゃん。どうでどうで。
好。なんで？
学校だよって。
今夏休みじゃないの？
え。
どうしたの？マジで。
どうもしないよ。あえて言うならコスプレ。姉ちゃんからだ。俺行かねえと。
送るよ。どこ？
いいって。
送る。
本当にいいって。
泣いてただろさっき。なんで？
石田には関係ないことだよ。
関係あると思いたい。
なんで？
ゆずるが心配だか
うちのばあちゃんみたいなこと言うなよ。勝手にすれば。ありがとう石田。ここまででいいよ。じゃあ。
Grandma died?
頑張れゆずる。
石田。やっぱ怖い。
I wonder if she kept everybody together in that family.
It seemed to come on pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know any of the story, but it seems like that conversation she had with the little one. What's her name?
Yuzuru?
Yeah. That she maybe knew, and she wanted Yuzuru to know.
You can live your life too.
Yeah, and you've got a good heart.
Man, I do not know where this is heading.
Me either. And it's like the first part we watched was just so, I don't know if heavy's the right word, but it was just like hard.
Charged. So
Yeah.
emotionally charged for me at least.
Yeah. You hate to see that situation. And then you kind of feel like they're trying to work on it, they're trying to sort it out. Like everybody has their own view of the situation, everybody has their own feelings, everybody has their own things they want to believe about themselves, and it's all slightly skewed from the truth, and you can't come together. And now, like, is this the inciting incident where things go sideways for everybody?
I feel like in the first part, it would just beg the question, like, why can't we all just get along? Why can't we all just love each other, accept each other? And then this part, it was like, this is human nature. These things are like examples of human nature. So we like go from, this is so terrible, we should just accept people for who they are and let's just meet each other where we're at. to, is it possible? Like, are we all flawed in our own way, that like the essence of being human just leads us to often make bad choices, to make excuses for ourselves, to, you know, protect ourselves with delusion sometimes. And now it's just like, now how are we gonna end this, you know?
Yeah, and the thing I thought about when you just said that, it was like, are our actions all based on us not feeling pain? You know, like
we always act to feel as little pain as possible.
Yeah, it's like you pick on somebody who's different because then you fit in, right? That, you know, at least you're not at the bottom of the
It's
bottom
like self-preservation
of that, right? And then, you know, you're trying to deal with everyone's trying to deal with a situation. You mature, you come through, but you're still, like, you're not, most people aren't able to go, this was my role in this. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, yeah, I was there, but I wasn't as bad as you, or I didn't do this, or I wasn't that. And you're still like trying not to feel the worst.
Yeah. This movie is shining a very big mirror on like people in general.
Yeah.
And like what it means to fit in, what it means to be part of a group or not.
Well, and then you think about it on top of it, it's like at that age you're also still trying to figure out who you are, mm-hmm. what you believe in, what do you stand for. You haven't had any experience, you have no perspective. You're in this weird like base instinct, self-preservation along with self-discovery. Like it's
yeah.
And you like you see it all the time. Like coaching high school kids, being around it, the group dynamics, like parents talking about what their kids' experiences are, hoping that teams and like everything is just heightened. I want there to be a happy ending. Like I want to leave this and go,
I'm not sure there will be.
I don't think so. But that's what I'd like to avoid the pain.
Speaking of, I think I'm just messed up. I'm like, rip my heart out, tear it to pieces. Let me feel all the feelings.
You are a big feeler.
Oh my gosh. I am thinking this is not going to have a happy ending, but maybe I'll be wrong. You guys have been doing a great job avoiding the spoilers as we've moved through this movie. So we've got one more week left. We would love to hear your thoughts and interpretations about the movie. Maybe, we are completely on a different page from you. And if that's the case, we want to hear it. If Absolutely. You agree with what we're saying, we also want to hear it. So let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And let's hang tight for one more part of A Silent Voice coming next week. Thanks, guys.